If you have been involved in an accident that wasn't your fault, why claim against your own insurance policy? Let G4 Claims help you today. G4 Claims can provide you with a like-for-like replacement hire vehicle whilst your car is off the road. Get your car repaired at an approved body shop or a body shop of your choice. If your car is unfortunately written off, G4 Claims will recover the cost of your pre-accident value and you will be kept in the hire vehicle until you are settled. If you suffer from any injuries, G4 Claims can set you up with a compensation claim and all services are totally free. G4 Claims charge the at-fault insurance company for all their services. They will never bill you or your insurance. Call G4 Claims for any help and advice today. Not at fault claims, made easy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder podcast. I'm your host, Rightful Simons. Just a two-man show today, McGinley. Like, we've done this a couple of times, have we not?
Yeah, just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
That's a belt here. By the way, I've been addicted to that song recently. It's been on all the time. We're here. I've been off YouTube for a couple of days. Let me just be honest and cut to the chase. I watched the game on Saturday night with a few friends, a few beverages.
There certainly was.
There certainly was a few beverages. I tried to sit down and make the video, my match review after the game. I was like, do what? I'll sit down, I'll do it. I sat on the chair, I pressed start the camera and I went, if I make this video, there is no coming back for me. I was a bottle of tonic down, I was a few beers down, there was no coming back.
El Vino was flowing,
yes.
And you were like, nah, I'm not going to do this.
Nah.
You're just going to leave the live reaction to me because I was doing it on another channel.
That's right. So you've done your live reaction and we'll come to your reaction in a moment. So then I thought to myself, I'll do it on Sunday. I thought, I'll get it done on Sunday, I'll get it up a day late, that's okay. But the Vino flow even more.
It's fair.
And it was safe to say I was out of the game the whole of Sunday. So here we are, finally, giving my response, giving my reaction to what was Hearts 2, Celtic 1. What an opener, eh? What a way to start our season. Could things get any worse at Celtic Football Club?
Do you know, I want to be as negative as I can because it's obviously
That's the theme
a
of this show.
But we completely dominated, and if I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but if the referee done his job, then we would have been 2-1 up in a man.
Yeah, I've seen
more.
a lot of people taking the mick at Celtic fans for saying they've been cheated and all the rest of it. I'm like, well, I've been doing this gig for 5 years now. I don't think I've ever at all came on and tried to blame referees or conspiracies or anything like that. But the fact of the matter was, and God knows how we never got a perfectly good goal on Saturday, and God knows how Hearts managed to keep 11 men on the park either.
I don't even know, because that Halliday tackle, that's a red card.
That's a red card.
Scott Brown does that last season. That's a red card.
Yep. I think if anybody else does it, I don't want to necessarily jump to the fact it's because it's a certain person. It would happen if it was a different person. I think the referee has just genuinely missed out on the fact that is a dangerous tackle, a tackle that can break the ankle of another player.
He's in a perfect position and he doesn't even give a booking. The guy, he studs his Achilles.
Yep.
How is that not a booking at least?
Don't care, don't do their job right up here, do. I think I've came to that conclusion.
He'll get cited today, but do you know what? That punishes Hearts, but it doesn't give us the advantage, even though it was our player that was tackled. Yep. But I don't want to get into the whole the whole conspiracy theory, because you can already hear Rangers fans going, oh, you're obsessed.
I know, first 3 minutes of the show, we usually save this for like 20 minutes in so that we can hide away from it a little bit. No, at the end of the day, Celtic still lost the game, and that's the talking point. The talking point isn't should Celtic have won, it's the fact we've lost on the opening day of the season. There was once again positives in the game, Ryan. I think there was definitely glimpses of potential for what we're going to see from Celtic this season, but when Rangers win 3-0 on the opening day, you lose 2-1 on the opening day, the story suddenly becomes, well, is that it already? Not is it done and over the line, but are Celtic good enough to challenge Rangers this season? We've been saying it all along. We weren't expecting us to go and win the league this year, but I think it is so frustrating. And here's where all the ranting is now going to begin. That our board have allowed a new manager to come in and start in this worst possible light. Now, I couldn't give a toss with the likes of Chris Commons and Tom English and all the rest of it want to say. I couldn't fucking care, because they talk absolute shit. I open the articles, see who's read them, and when I see their names, I click them away. Yep. But we've now got a sea of these journalists all over Scotland already throwing the Ange under, and almost shedding all the blame onto him, putting all the blame onto him, which makes no sense because the board have led us to this situation, right? The fact that we're starting the season in this way.
Mm-hmm. But I seem to remember the same Tom English calling the supporters, was it bedwetters in November, when we knew this was coming. We knew this sort of catastrophe was creeping its way in our direction. I don't... Was it because Lenny's our good pal? I don't know, because he had fights with the press as well, so I don't know if he's good pals with them or not, but it seems that already Ange is on the back foot with the reporters. He won't care less because you can tell he hates the press already.
Yep.
I mean, there's talk that the BBC have already been banned from Celtic Park.
Really?
Aye, because of their line of questioning.
Wow.
So they've
did
put
not
the foot
hear
down.
that. Did not hear that.
I've been hearing it a couple of times over the past couple of days, but that would be both Glasgow teams that have banned the BBC. But to be fair, some of their line of question is
shocking.
Awful. It is really, really bad. But I mean, it's not a great start at all.
It's not a great start, but I think there's got to be now the situation, and Chris Commons, who I've already alluded to, he wrote an article this morning saying he's been given Ange Postecoglou has been given a free pass for the first kind of couple of games, but how long will it be till we start questioning? I don't think it's not a free pass. It's not. Ange doesn't deserve to be thrown under the bus here in the way that he's been. The Celtic board have let us go into the season unprepared, and to be honest, I'll say what I said in my match preview. You look at that Hearts back five, their goalkeeper, right back, centre back, left back. You take 4 of the 5 and went fucking Sellik at this rate. That's the situation the board have led us into.
Yep, we should. I'm not saying we should have things automatically, but we should be a stronger team than Hearts.
Yes.
Purely just
it's not entitlement, it's just the fact that we are Celtic.
We've got a bigger wage budget.
We've got a bigger transfer budget. We've got 60,000 seater stadium. We've got, European status. See, we weren't just in the Championship last season. We should be better than Hearts.
Yeah, we should be. But for some reason the board think it's okay to downsize every season and just expect us to still be competing against teams even though they're strengthening as well. Yep. I mean, Even the midfield, I thought that new boy that they had, the Everton player, I thought he ran the socks off some of our midfielders. That I can't remember his name, it begins with B or something, but they signed him a couple of days ago for Everton, and I think this guy looks a player.
Yep.
He looked better than Sorrow, that's for sure, and I know Sorrow was trying his hardest in that, but how long can you say he's raw before you're like, he's never really going to be that good enough? We need.
I don't want to even make a comment on Sorrow thus far because I was giving it. I think we were giving it Billy Big Balls when he broke into the team. I still like Sorrow though. I'm not really. I'm not against him yet, but we certainly do need someone else in that area. Put it this way:
there's other midfielders that we could be talking about in a much harsher way than Sorrow.
Yes.
But I don't want to sound like I've got a vendetta against him because he is like my favourite player.
Yep.
But there's certain midfielders in that team that aren't.
Well, we'll come on and we'll come at ranting about the board and everything as the show goes on because we've got a long Q&A session to get through. We've got the quiz as well, don't worry. Even though there is only 2 of us, there still will be a quiz. We'll have a special guest on the phones. No, it's not Kieran Auld because he's got a 2-day hangover.
Yep.
So we'll have the quiz and all. We'll have a Q&A with the listeners as well in the Twitter replies. But let's talk about the actual game. Let's talk about the game start to finish. You obviously done your live reaction over in Hamish's channel on 67 Hail Hail. I'm sure you were getting a good audience for that.
Yeah, there was quite a few hundred people watching that, and I don't think the majority of them were Celtic fans. I think the Hearts and the Rangers fans were together watching the game.
Piling in to see what we were saying.
Because they're best pals,
Yeah,
it's a weird one.
You've got to keep a cool head when doing these things because they come to try and bait.
It gets to the point, see, on that streamable app, you need to kind of put or you need to take the comments away because if you keep the comments on for too long, then you'll fixate yourself on what people are saying, and it influences what you're saying. So
also, I know I love doing podcasts because it gives you the chance just to have a genuine conversation and just go down rabbit holes and all the rest of it. I love how the first thing that I woke up to yesterday morning was, last year obviously I went memed, like it was viral for my clips of saying Celtic will win 10 in a row, Bassey who, Balogun who. Understandably that was memed. Yesterday someone decided to put it on Twitter, and I find it a laugh. I always just laugh at it. It's exposure at the end of the day as well. I can really care. But somebody put up the clip of me talking about Hearts in my season predictions video, and I'm
after one game
I'm like, sorry, is the league done? If Hearts won the league, is that what I've missed here? I'm not. I said in the same video, Hearts will end up beating us. Hearts are the kind of team that turned up for these. We've seen them. They beat fucking Rangers twice and went down in the same season.
That's the problem. They beat the big teams, they don't beat the teams.
I know. It's just a laugh, and it's like, this Celtic fan thinks Hearts are shite and Hearts have just beat them. It's football.
Hearts done nothing to change my mind that they're.
I know they were mints. The funny thing is, there was so many Rangers fans in the replies going, "See, to be fair, he's no rang." Like Hearts were mints. It was our own wrongdoings again. Once again, that kind of cost us the points.
It helps when Hearts have a goalkeeper and we don't, though.
Yep, exactly. And let's come on to that. Let's go to the game itself. Hearts did get the opener, Ryan. At that point, no, I thought we were still showing enough to suggest that we could go and win the game. I still thought we had enough share of the ball. I thought it was only a matter of time before we would find a goal. But we went down 1-0 and Starfelt, it was his first game. You could tell that the kind of nerves were there. He wasn't quite ready. But what can you expect from a guy who's just finished his isolation period, just moved, barely trained with the team? It was always going to be a kind of dodgy opener for him. I think that's another reason that the board have totally done Ange dirty, because every one of these players that are going to come in this situation is going to look so unprepared. Yep.
And leggy as well. I think some of the players, the newer players that came in, look leggy already. Starfelt, I don't think he expected to be such an intimidating atmosphere, even with less fans. Tynecastle still is quite a scary place to go especially if that's your debut. I know some players take to it like a duck to water, like Sinclair and that. But and I was hoping that Kyogo was going to do that, but that wasn't to be. But it was a very nervy opening 10-20 minutes. But I thought, apart from that, he played really well. I thought some of his passing was great.
Yeah, we were watching it together. I know you weren't there at this point. You hadn't come and joined us for the beverages, but watching it with a couple of mates, Kieran Auld and such. And yeah, the first goal I think you can put down to maybe Starfelt being a little bit all over the place. I think that's understandable. That can be justified. But I think that might have stuck in too many people's minds throughout the game, because I thought when he had the ball, he looked really composed at points. He looked like he wanted to have it. He looked confident. And I thought there was moments where I'm like, okay, if this is a glimpse of what we're going to get, then I think this guy will come good.
I think with the goal, he was really unlucky because he went back in for it 2-3 times.
I said that as well. I said that at the time. And Big Dave, he was watching it with us, of course, as well, because he lives with me. And I was trying my best to sort of defend them. I don't like getting on players' back straight away, so I was trying my best to defend them. I was like, but he does try. I think he is really unlucky. Ultimately, I think we can all agree it was perhaps maybe his fault to an extent. But I thought, there was a point where he did get the ball, he won the ball, and I was like, he's done well there, and then it just happens to fall and break for the Hearts player. It was rather unlucky.
There was 2 or 3 times that he could have booted it out of play, or even just take a foul, take a booking. Yes, there'd be more pressure on him, but it stops the goal and it stops the attack. Then again, if it was a free kick, then if they put a half decent ball in the box, they're going to score. But we'll get onto that later. But I thought his range of passing was good. I think he will be a good player. He just looked very raw, but that was due to the fact that he's been in isolation for 10 days and not training. Well, he was training for the second half of it, but how much training can you do when you don't really know your teammates and that? There needs to be that sort of link between the training and training with people that you know and players that you're going to play against. It doesn't help that he's playing with a glorified midfielder that's been put into centre half that just should never be there. By the way, there wasn't enough made of that. Why did he go back into the team?
I remember the lineups came out and I was like, I like you, Ange, I'm backing you, but what the fuck have you put Beaton back in for? Beaton should be done at Celtic.
Exactly, he should have been on the first plane back to Israel, man, for whatever team Doudou Dahan can get for him. Honestly, what is he still doing? And he cost us for the second goal as well. Every time you put Beaton in this lineup, you're going to get punished. You're going to get punished because he is not a defender. Yes, he can pass the ball at the back, but he cannot tackle, he can't run, he can't get people once they're in front of him.
I feel like he's very weak in the air.
He's 6'4", 6'5".
For a big guy, I feel like he's very weak in the air.
I mean, if he could even jump like a couple of foot, he'd be massive too, but he can't jump. He is so immobile, it's unbelievable. We need at least 2 centre halves, I think. Yeah,
we do. But I was surprised, we didn't even touch on that when we said about the lineup coming out. There was 2 big omissions for me. Christie being dropped, and then of course Welsh being dropped. Now I think I've made it perfectly clear on this show, I don't think Stephen Welsh is the messiah. I don't think he's going to solve all of Celtic's issues, but I certainly feel like he'd be a better option near Beaton.
The only reason why I wasn't as angry with Welsh or Murray for that as well, being out of the team, is because they'd just played 120 minutes and they would have been knackered.
Well, that's true. Didn't even think of that, to be fair.
But I would have been happy if it was like Murray and Starfelt. That would be great, because then Starfelt's playing against someone who's composed, good on the ball, good at tackling. I still think Welsh is okay, but I don't know what his level is. I don't know where his ceiling is at this point. I'm worried that his ceiling is only SPFL level.
I think it is.
I don't want to put him in that yet because I wanted to see him improve, but that's what I'm thinking as well, and that sounds terrible, but it's just the way it is, I guess.
It's so annoying because we know that this shouldn't even be a conversation. We should have centre halves, and there is. We'll come on. I think we're going to come on to that. It was something that you wanted to touch on, Ryan, and we'll do that after this game. But we should just not be having this conversation every single year, man. And I know we sound like a broken record because it's every fucking podcast we're on here going, every year the board lead us in here and we've got one centre half and there'd be tons playing. You know, it sounds like a fucking broken record, but that is all. It's just what you had. That's all we can say.
There is some deadwood in this team that needs to go as well. You have guys like Beaton, Bain.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of others that are there that are just lingering on. You could have even put in Cham in that, but he was gone yesterday, obviously, which I guess we'll go into later on. But there's that deadwood that are too comfortable to be here. There was deadwood like Sved and Bio that weren't getting games about on loan, but there's this first team deadwood that just shouldn't be there. Rogic as well. Rogic. Definitely. That are just there and they're not really. They're hindering us. That could be a decent squad player.
Because they're holding us back from realising that we need to move them on and replace them with someone new because they're just there wasting time and wasting space.
That's what I thought the rebuild was going to be about. These bit part players, we're going to leave and we're going to get new squad players in. You've got to think Beaton won't leave until he's absolutely forced because he's on a good contract.
Yep.
He's on one of those Rodgers contracts.
That's right.
That, he'll be on 15-20k a week.
He'll be one of the highest paid in the club, I think.
Aye.
It makes sense.
He's only a couple of years off a testimonial, by the way. How frightening is that?
It's crazy, isn't it? Was it 10 year, innit?
Aye, because he came in 2013 because I remember him getting sent off against Ajax.
So he's no far. Let's go back to the game. Once again, we go down 1-0. We have the lion's share of possession. We just couldn't score. And one of the problems I think we're going to touch on is the absence of a striker at the minute.
Yeah, we don't play with a striker these days.
No, but the absence of a striker. And Edouard, God knows how he's managed to stay on the park for as long both games so far. The last two games.
What does that say about Ajeti? What does that honestly say?
I've got a theory about Ajeti, and I'm not saying it's right, but I have a feeling Ange trusts Ajeti, and he has Ajeti identified as someone who can be a player. And this is just my theory. I don't know what it is. I'm probably way off with it, but I just feel like surely he could, because he looked good. He looked good in pre-season, right? Mm-hmm. He was given the fucking armband for one of the games. I know it's a friendly, right? But he looked good. I feel like he looks as though he's worked really hard. He's lost a lot of weight. There is no way that I'm buying into this. I don't know. Maybe he is just looking good at training. But my theory is that he knows Edouard's away. And he's got a very limited amount of time to try and get the best out of the last drop of the juice out of Edouard, which we haven't seen, so it should be done with. Ajeti, I feel like he might not want to throw in yet to the deep end because people will start getting on his back once again if he doesn't perform straight away. So I have a feeling that he knows Ajeti's there and he knows Ajeti's going to deliver at some point. He feels Ajeti can deliver at some point, but he just doesn't want to throw him out yet in case things don't go right and then bang us back to the situation where everybody's on his back. That's my theory.
That'd be a perfect scenario for me, but it just worries me because I don't want to get into players' temperaments, but Ajeti gives me the sort of impression that he would throw the toys out the pram very early. Yeah. He gives me that sort of vibe.
Especially because he's had a big move before, he got that big move to West Ham. He probably feels like he is at a level where he could be playing, he should be playing, and could maybe be doing in a respect better.
I'll put it simply. Ajeti should be scoring 25 to 30 goals in this league because he's been scoring that in Basel.
Yep.
And Switzerland's a better league than Scotland. Mm-hmm. I think there is no doubt about that.
Yep.
Don't have teams like Basel and I'm trying to think.
No, maybe who knows? Because Rangers gave a good go in Young Boys, and that's out of context. That, but
oh dear. Clap it.
But Rangers done really well against Young Boys. I can't remember the last time we played one. It was who was the last time we played a Swiss team? It is a good league.
I'm going to get mixed up with Switzerland and Austria, and that sounds terrible. And
it's Zurich's Austrian, is it not? No, it's not. No, that's Swiss. Swiss. Christ, I've got higher geography.
I used to always think that Zurich was the capital of Switzerland, but it's not.
It's Bern, isn't it? It's Bern, Switzerland. Aye, but anyway, yes, he probably feels like he can be doing better and he needs the time for that. So you might be right in saying he could throw his toilets out of the pram. I think he will get in the team soon. But we have a severe absence of a striker at the minute. Edouard has been anonymous.
He's about as useful as a blunt pencil, honestly.
Nice.
That is what it's like.
What about a knitted condom?
Wow.
Yep.
are we going there at what time is it? 1:05
today?
Am I talking about knitted condom?
It's actually quite late.
It's quite late for us, but I'm quite happy with that because I feel more awake than when we do 10 o'clock ones. Yep. But there is no point. Edward is just a shadow up front. He's so ineffective. He's either taking too many touches, he's trying to beat too many players, he's trying to score the perfect goal, but he's not scoring any goals. Mm-hmm. I just don't trust him in front of goal now, and it's horrible. I remember Rangers had the same sort of problem with Morelos when he would go one-on-one with a player and they weren't confident he would score. That's how I feel just now with Edward.
It's a rough patch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
he's not, and I don't think he's not trying, because he's out there and he's running and that, but I think he's mentally checked out, and it's very difficult to check back in once you've checked out.
I think he's got 1 foot out the door. I think he's just ultimately, I feel like he knows he's gone.
And the longer this goes on, the more it hurts the team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's actually worrying me that I'm not hearing more rumours about Edward leaving,
and
that seems terrible for. I mean, Brighton have money now. They've got that 50 million that they sold. What do you call him, Ben White for?
That's right.
I mean, there's been a lot of press reports saying that was a load of nonsense, the whole Edward to Brighton deal. They said there was nothing in that whatsoever. We're in a position here that we could get stuck with a player that doesn't want to be here. Yep. And then all of a sudden, he's taking, I don't know what he's on a week, 25 to 30k a week, you would probably say. He's probably the highest earner now.
Now that Brown's away.
Mm-hmm. He's not giving us what we're paying for him a week. Yep. He's not giving us goals. Like, that should be the bare minimum that Edward is doing just now. He should still be scoring a goal a game. He's that good.
It's so annoying because I've always loved Edward, and I do love Edward, and I've always hated the mindset of lazy Edward and all the rest of it. But the last couple of games, he has been.
There is no defending him now.
There's no defending the last couple of games.
It's tarnishing him.
Does it not annoy you? Does it not annoy you in a sense that, like, these last couple of games, if he was to leave, is how a lot of the Celtic support are going to try and remember Edward.
Okay, that's always the case though.
It's just annoying because he scored 82 goals and whatever. Like, what a player.
But you've got to say it is tarnishing him a wee bit.
Oh no, it is absolutely. It is. Absolutely. I'm not going to sit there and just back him because it's him and because of this, that, next thing. The questions have to be raised.
I hate the way this is forming as well, because I can see what's coming a mile away. I can see Griffiths getting back into this team. I know what they're doing. I can see it happening, and we do not need this circus. I hate to bring him up every episode, but. Yep.
It's all coming together. The stars ominous. Are aligning.
Mm-hmm. It's ominous. You can see like the dark cloud coming. That's how I feel with Griffiths. You can see they're sort of, because fans will get desperate for a striker.
Aye.
And
come on, Griffiths, give us a goal.
25 goals a season. This is your chance. That you're going to be the first choice striker until he lets us down again. I was watching the Hibs game yesterday, getting Nisbet in the door.
I know.
He'd give us 10 times more than Edward.
I know, but we really do need Nisbet. We really do.
It's so obvious as well.
Yep.
He's doing it.
We'll come on to it. We'll come on to that. We'll save that for the next portion of the show. We get back in the game, and my fucking God almighty, Tony Ralston. What happened there?
I know, I was actually laughing when he scored.
I could not believe it. I was a good bevy at this point, you know. I was a good bit into it.
I've got a question for you.
Go on.
See right now, like, look at the last 2 games. Who would you much rather have in the team? If you could take one of them out, who would it be? Taylor or Ralston?
I would be taking Taylor out every day of the fucking week. I'd be keeping Ralston in there. I can't believe that that's how this is.
This is how it's happened.
And this is the thing. We can't allow. This is the worry for me is when he scored that goal and we all celebrated. And everybody was watching it with me. We were all like, "Oh my God, how's he managed that?" But as soon as the kind of hysteria of the goal going in was over, we all sat down and went, "Oh fuck!
I know
they're not going to want a right back anymore." Like,
2? We need 2 right backs.
I know, but I don't want that to cloud everyone's judgment and thinking that Ralston is good enough.
I'm trying to think of an example where that's happened before in football.
Oh, it's definitely happened before.
Especially down south, I feel like there's examples that happens.
United. It happened to Man United. Adnan Januzaj broke out in the scene.
I thought you were going to say Alex Butner.
Butner, it happened with him as well. But when Januzaj broke in the scene, this is the next big... And then the next summer, they were like, oh, well, Januzaj can play again. And it was shit.
I think it was Sunderland he came onto the scene.
I was at that game.
Were you actually
I was at that game, yep. He broke onto the scene. I'm sitting there like, what the hell is going on here? I was at the Stadium of Light that day. Davy Moyes' reign. But anyway, Ralston scores an absolute worldie. God knows how he does it. We're back in the game, and at that point I was certain we were going to go and win the game.
Yeah, they only looked like there was going to be one winner because we were, even after we'd scored, we were pushing forward. but as soon as it got to the 70th minute, I don't know if you noticed it, fitness levels gone completely.
And there's the Neil Lennon effect.
It's the Neil Lennon effect, but also I think Ange's got to get a bit of criticism as well, and because his subs weren't quick enough. Some of the subs.
That's 2 games they're always done that though.
I don't know if he trusts the subs he's got on the bench. I think he's just making up the numbers in terms of the subs bench, but he seems reluctant to bring somebody on anywhere less than 65, 70 minutes. And Nielsen was making changes. They brought that big guy on up front, and they just put him on Taylor because
it was working.
Taylor is a wee guy. And I know I'm a wee guy, so I can say it, I guess. But Taylor is a wee guy, and he was just bullying him. And we looked really, really leggy. I don't know if that's due to the fact that we were playing in Europe on the Wednesday, but Hearts suddenly got into the game. They were starting to dictate the game, and it was very worrying and ominous. You could see the way the game was going.
And ultimately, we pay the price, right?
Yep.
They get the winning goal. Talk us through just.
It's a very dubious foul to begin with.
Aye.
For the goal. Sorrow's raging because I think he gets the ball, but the refereeing was absolutely abysmal.
It was about throughout the game. Even the small decisions were very, very fucking poor.
Aye. Very.
Who was it again? It was Madden.
Bobby Madden. Yeah. Open goal. Friend of open goal.
Yes.
And we know who one of the hosts is on that. So if you can put 2 and 2 together.
There's a conspiracy theories coming out.
Aye, go for it. The cross ball. It's got to that point that if somebody puts in a good cross against us, I expect us to concede a goal.
Yes.
And it happened. Beaton cannot header the ball, and he starts complaining after the goal. It's his fucking fault.
Aye.
It's not. Well, it's 50-50 between him and wee Scott Bain. So
Scott Bain.
Change the B to a P. Honestly, it's painful to watch him.
I want to come on to it.
How is he playing for Celtic? He is so a Dundee level keeper.
He's not a Dundee level either, I don't think, man.
Who's Dundee gotten goals? At Hamilton or Laidlaw or something, I think.
No, Laidlaw's Ross County, you know.
Aye. That's terrible. Thank fuck we're not on TSF today.
I don't care anyway. Scott Bain wouldn't be playing for them. If you're a Dundee fan, you want Bain back, feel free, because he's not fucking good enough. I know Barkas is not great, but oh my fucking god, he cannot be any worse than that. I don't think. I'm not. I don't even care. He can stand and jock Steen up for all I care. He's better than Scott Bain.
Aye.
He is better than Scott Bain. Bain is useless.
What is his position?
Both of them are, right? Let's be honest, both of them aren't great, but Scott Bain is useless.
Yeah, at least we know that Barkas has been good previously in his career. Has Scott Bain ever been good in his career?
That night against Valencia, that was it.
You were talking about that the other night.
Aye.
We'll always have Valencia. It's like in Chamway.
We'll always have Valencia.
His positioning, he goes forward and then he goes back. So he's just caught in this sort of no man's land. Shooter, easy header into the goal. And I'm feeling like this is a snatch and grab because of the way we've played, or the possession. We've done nothing with the ball, but we had 80% of the ball. So I was feeling like this is a snatch and grab, but at the same time we got exactly what we deserved because we don't have a capable defence, we don't have a capable goalkeeper, and we don't have a striker that can put the ball in the net. And we've not won a game since Charlton, by the way. Like if you're taking pre-season friendlies in, that was the last time we won a game.
What was the stat about we've won like 50% of our game? Worst run of form since like 1996 or something?
Yeah, we're breaking new records. We used to break records in a good way 3-4 years ago under Rodgers. Now
I know we were just talking about that season at Man United. It actually reminds me of that. I know United went on to finish 7th that year and we're never going to be 7th. Fucking hope I've no jinxed that, but we're never going to be 7th. But remember, like Moyes was just breaking record after record after record.
It's a bad look.
Yeah, you know, and it's not Ange's fault right now. Not anyway. You know, it's
that tide will turn very quickly though, and I'm starting to see wee whispers of fans already being like, I don't know if Ange's up to this. I'm like, you can't do it 3 games in. No. You got to give the guy a time to implement his own team. This isn't even his team. This is a Kennedy Lennon / Ange sort of mix-up, sort of flux.
It just feels like the board have done everything in their power to make this look horrendous for Ange. They've gave him the same coaches, they've gave him the same team, they've not signed any fucking defenders.
It's so lopsided as well because we get some good players in there. Like McGregor, Christie, Turnbull to an extent, even though he's not started well this season.
Obviously, we've still got Edward.
We've got him there, but we've got guys that aren't interested. We've got guys that aren't good enough, like Ralston and Taylor. I know Ralston's been good the past couple of games, but he's due to have a nightmare performance. That's all I'm saying. He's never had a run of like 10 games that are good. I don't even think he's had a run of 10 games in the team.
Nah.
But I just feel like a nightmare's coming. Maybe like a sending off away in Europe or something like that.
Yeah, potentially.
We're risking it because we're like, he's had 2 games, keep him in the team. You always know what's going to happen next, and you know it's always there with Ralston and Taylor for that as well. We've got players that aren't good enough, we've got players that aren't interested, and we've got players that are good but are getting brought down by everyone else.
Yep.
So we're in this state of flux, and it's really, really difficult to watch us at the moment. And I've got no doubt that Ange will turn it round once he has his own players, but we need to get this sorted. There are guys that just shouldn't be there.
Yep, that's pretty much it, as Kevin Bridges would say. After the game, I just felt, you know what? Well, I know what I felt. I felt like more beer, and I had a good night.
That's what we done,
and I enjoyed myself.
To be fair, I done quite well catching up, even though I only joined at like 20 past 11. Was it?
You were there quite late, obviously, and I'd been drinking since 6 o'clock, so you did a decent job.
Had to stay professional. I was going live after.
Yes, of course. Listen, we don't start the season in the best possible way. So let's quickly jump on to the rest of the week for Celtic, because there's actually quite a lot to talk about, and we're now going to be returning back to, I think, our normal structure of podcasts. Will be every Sunday or every Monday. We will probably try and throw in a lot more live kind of phone-ins and stuff over the next wee while, because there's a lot to talk about this season. Ultimately, it's going to be huge. Everybody's got to complain at some point.
I don't know if you want to do it as well, but we should try like a Twitter Spaces as well, because I think that worked really well with 4 Tims the other night.
I didn't listen.
I listened to some
of it. Very, very good though.
Very good. Tony was in top form, as he always is.
Tony's always in top form.
Tony
is like, to me, I look at Tony as one of the greats of the Celtic podcast. And
I think he's so underrated as well.
Perhaps, who's underrated? An underrated great at Celtic. Who can he be compared to in the history of Celtic? I would go as far to say like Nakamura's underrated great. Really? Purely because people think of the I was going to say like the George Connolly.
He's too young for that.
Aye, true. I'm not comparing his age. I'm not comparing his age.
Petrov was underrated.
The Stan Petrov of Celtic podcast.
He'll take that.
He would take that.
He's got a better hairline than Stan Petrov. You've seen it on Sky Sports. He's losing it, man.
Who, Stan Petrov?
He's losing it. To be fair, he is looking really well. I know he's had his health problems the past couple of years, but he looks brilliant. And he's one of the best pundits, by the way, as well. I'm glad this guy.
He's really good.
He doesn't care about what he says. He doesn't care that he's had previous allegiance to Celtic. He'll say it objectively what he thinks.
Stan's a legend, man. Absolute legend. So this week we've got European qualifiers again. We're back on Thursday. But on the note of European qualifiers, we fucked it. We've absolutely fucked it. The draw was...
We haven't recorded after the Michelin game, the second game. Obviously, we're talking on TSN.
Exactly. We've not spoken to Celtic Thunder about being knocked out of Europe, which is actually quite mad. We've not really, but I think you all know my points by now. I mean, you've actually been on the channel as well, so it's not been that bad. But we fucked it.
We have fucked it.
Because we couldn't beat a team that was easily there to beat, a team who were not even better than us. We now have to go and hopefully beat Jablonec. Is that how it's pronounced?
That's what it sounds like. I think it's someone pronounced it the other day, and I was like, I'll need to remember that. But I'll look into it.
So we've got to beat them first of all. But even if we do beat them, we've got AZ Alkmaar.
We've got no chance.
We've got no chance. So we're playing Conference League football this year.
Yep, one way or the other.
I don't see us beating them unless there's a dramatic turn of events. We fucked it.
That was why beating Michelin was so important, because then we didn't have to go through more qualifiers.
Yep.
All of a sudden now fixtures are getting changed because we're playing on Thursdays instead of Wednesdays now. If we'd beat Michelin, that would have been us. Even if we'd get beat against PSV, nobody expected us to beat PSV. In fact, I thought we were going to get hammered against PSV, but we had to get through that Michelin tie to even start talking about the PSV game, and we couldn't even do that.
Yep.
I mean, mentally we are one of the weakest teams in Europe.
Yeah.
We get a loser's mentality.
Yeah, we're serial losers when it comes to European football.
We were serial winners a couple of years ago, but now, I mean, even Lennon's first season, we were serial winners because we were beating Lazio in that.
Apart from, who was it who knocked us out again? Was it Cluj? Apart from Cluj. That was a disaster.
That was a disaster, but we did turn it around. We turned it around
big time. We were beating Lazio, home and away, yep. And then we went back to serial losers against Copenhagen. It was a short run. It was a short run, but that honeymoon period, to be fair, a lot of it was due to Forster, you could say. But it's funny that when you've got a good goalkeeper. But right now, we're in a terrible situation in Europe, and you're right about the goalkeepers.
Mentally, so weak.
And it makes me doubt if we can even beat this team we're playing on Thursday.
Well, the good thing is they're
they
awful.
They
get beat 3-0, and people said their defence is absolutely terrible as well. They play in green and their defence is terrible. It's two teams that are very, very similar.
But that makes me worry even more, because what if they beat us? What if it happens?
I think there's got to be questions already if they beat us, I'll be perfectly honest.
I'll be down at Parkhead next week, by the way.
And I don't want to say about the money. You've got to win games though. If we get put out of 2 competitions, I'm fine. No, I'm not fine with getting put out of the Champions League.
Ronnie Dyler getting knocked out of the Champions League twice in one season.
I'm trying. Did he get knocked out of Europe 3 times in the one season?
Yes, but the third time was against Inter Milan, to be fair, wasn't it?
Aye, but even then, we could have beat them.
Let's not get too big Billy Box about it right
I know,
now.
but this is the problem now. We're talking about European nights from 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Yep.
This is the board's fault that we don't have more of these to talk about. We should have Champions League games that we can talk about from. I don't care. I know that was a Europa League game, obviously against Inter Milan, but that felt like a Champions League game because Inter Milan just bring that sort of prestige and that big name to Celtic Park. Aye. We should have that. We're not the best run team in the country. I was going to say that, but I can't even say that. No.
We're one of the worst run teams in the country.
It's just utterly hopeless.
Aye.
I mean, even that Aurelio Buta, what was it, last Tuesday?
Yep.
He was basically signed. That was what the source was saying. And then Sunday he's playing in a game for Antwerp.
Yep.
What's he doing still playing games with the team? Why have we not got that sorted?
Well, he's not through the door yet either, so. Right
back is a position of utter importance. Why is there nobody in?
Don't care.
I feel like
don't care.
I'm banging my head against the wall. I'm like that meme, you know, you can't beat this guy. But I'm banging my head.
Can't beat this guy.
Honestly, that is. I don't know what's happening, but to be fair, I'm not that surprised because we don't have a director of football or a head of recruitment. Yep. So why should we have players in the door if we don't even have those positions? That should be. I can't.
It's a shoot. He's cutting a promo.
Why are those positions? Why have those positions not been headhunted yet? Yep. Why were they not done in March, April? We knew we were going to be in this position.
Tell you, they don't care. They do not care. They've had their slice of domination. They want us to be grateful for it. That's the only thing I can think of.
It makes sense from a marketing thing that we've fucked it, because it makes sense we've got competition in the league. That wouldn't even surprise me if Celtic done that. Honestly, it would not surprise me because it's been so mismanaged that actually seems plausible now.
It's crazy what the mind gets to.
We're playing with fucking Anthony Ralston in league games.
I know.
He was. How many games did he play last season in a dysfunctional team that was going for 10 in a row? He played one game.
And yet he's now the starter.
He's played like 6 times as much.
He must have been buzzing on Saturday night, even though we got beat.
And fair play to him. Do you know, some of the stuff he's been getting online, including from me, has been not unwarranted. But
you make it sound like you're sending mails, like hate mails.
I called him a sleep paralysis demon because he would just haunt me with the way he was playing, and I was feeling a wee bit emotional at half time in that West Ham game because I'm like, you're absolute pants, mate. But you know, he's trying his hardest. He's giving his best, and I feel kind of bad. But I won't feel bad for criticising Taylor.
Aye.
Taylor is a Kilmarnock right back. He should be in the Championship.
Left back.
Did I say right back?
You said right back.
I just see that in my head. I just want us to have a right back so much that I'm willing to put players in different positions.
The first words when you wake up in the morning, right back.
Right back. Right back to bed. Because I can't be fucked with this team.
Have you ever seen that Simpsons episode? And I think it's the Flaming Mo episode actually. And Homer shows Mo the Flaming Mo. I'm sure it's this episode, and Mo ends up stealing it, saying it was his recipe. And Homer basically goes off his nut, and he's just walking about the house going, Mo.
In fact, I think I have.
Mo. That's you when you wake up. Right back.
But honestly, just
let's go into it. Okay, so then next week we've got who we got in the league? Who do we play next
Dundee
week?
on Sunday.
Dundee on Sunday.
Sunday at 3 o'clock kick off. I'm going to that game.
You'll be there. I won't be there. I'll be at home. Yeah, we've got Dundee on Sunday. A game that I feel a bit more confident for compared to the midweek fixture. I feel like we should be winning. But imagine the world that if we started the season by dropping points to 2 newly promoted sides. I mean, God almighty.
The opening 2 fixtures, if you just put it on paper, the 2 promoted sides, they're gimme 6 points.
I know.
For a team like Celtic, we should be getting 6 points and get the goal difference up, so we start as we mean to go on. Yep. I don't mean to sound big-headed or that, but that's just the way it should be.
That's just the way it is.
And people say, self-entitled, far too entitled Celtic fans. No, we've got the biggest wage bill, we've got what we should have the best players in the league. Yep. We should be running these teams over, basically. Yep. I mean, Dundee will be going into this game really confident they can get something, because...
Yeah, they will be, and certainly. And another team who've been missing out over the past, couple of years because they've been in the Championship.
And they've been well run as well.
And they want to come up to the Premier. Here, it's a Gordon Strachan derby, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Is he still the advisor?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Imagine having to be
Imagine
having to listen to him in a professional sense. Like, you're paying him to sort of... You're sort of paying him to get advice off him. Someone would have to pay me to listen to Gordon Strachan, and I know he had a good past to the history. I mean, we'd probably kill for somebody like him now who takes to the last 16. I think you'll find that Gordon Strachan won the Sellik Defenders Celtic TV Personality of the Year last year. Wow.
Remember? So respect on Gordon.
Respect on Gordon's name. I'm just surprised he's not at Celtic any capacity, because it seems like we've got the rest of the family there for jobs for the Strachans, because we've got a scout that's Gordon Strachan's son. We've got Gavin, who was showing Kyogo something on his iPad. I don't know if Kyogo speaks a word of English, by the way. I don't know what he was... I can only imagine what was on that iPad.
Is this that hentai?
Fuck me, man. We went there, didn't we? Have you seen this funny clip about Nakamura?
Oh, Jesus Christ. And see, you might have showed him the video of Nakamura hitting the free kick through the bus. I
was thinking about the commentary from that guy, Carlos Cuellar. Have you seen this? But jobs for the Strachans. I'm surprised he's not in and around it.
They're always there. Let's look, before we head on to the final kind of portions of the show. You wanted to talk about what we need. Mm-hmm. What do we need?
A miracle. Hope.
I need a hero. We need a goalkeeper.
Yep. Probably need 2 goalkeepers now.
Not Joe Hart though.
No, but it's getting to that point. They've put us in this desperate situation that I might actually take him at this point now.
That's sad, isn't it?
And I was listening to people on the Celtic Underground Sunday service thing. I tune into that every week now. Sometimes I'm on it. But, he was like, we need Joe Hart, a safe pair of hands. I was like...
hands.
When was he a safe pair of hands? 2012? 2013?
10 years ago now.
Maybe if he's saving from his right hand side, yes, but he can't save from his left hand side.
Yep.
He's got something like a 50% chance of success of going for the left hand side.
He's also Tottenham's 4th choice keeper. Fourth, not good enough to be 3rd choice. 4th.
It's bad too, because a couple of years ago I was willing to take Spurs' 2nd choice goalkeeper, Michel Vorm.
I remember that when he was linked to the club.
I thought that was an easy one for Rodgers to go on. I wanted Vorm instead of De Vries when it happened in 2016, but it's got to that point now. He's a name and people will be happy with that.
People. My dad keeps going, Joe Hart was good every time I've watched him. I was good. I was like, Dad, when was the last time you watched him? Mancini was in charge. I'm fucking it. That says everything. It was 10 years ago.
Yep.
Christ almighty, he's not been playing first team football for 6 years now. Not 6, it's about 5. Torino, and he had that spell. We've been through it last week. I'm not going through it fucking again.
See, the thing is, it's such a weird thing, because it's quite similar to the whole... Remember when Claudio Bravo came in? They basically brought Claudio Bravo, who couldn't save a thing, but he was playing purely because he had the ball at his feet. Are they going to do that with Barkas when Joe Hart inevitably starts chucking them in the net? Again, I'll make the same point that I made last week. I think it was on TSF. I said the 2 aren't exclusive. You can get a good goalkeeper that's a good shot stopper and good with his feet.
Yep.
You just need to pay a wee bit more money for him, and that's just we should have that. I mean, what is Livakovic doing? He's still at Dinamo Kiev, not Livakovic.
Dinamo Zagreb.
He's at Zagreb, and he's 26. Is he not getting touted for big moves? I know he was getting touted with a move to Wolves, obviously because Patricio left. But he
was also getting linked with a move to Spurs, but now they've got, is it Jolini?
Why are we not putting 5-6 million on the table then? Testing it?
There was someone else.
I know it's a very.
Do you know who I'd like? And this is proper me going back to all the FM series and stuff I've done. But he was loaned out last year. Jeroenzo at PSV.
He's a good goalkeeper.
Wanted first team football. Ended up getting loaned out to Utrecht last season. I don't know what he's up to now. I don't know if he's getting back in that team or not. But
just tons of goalkeepers in that league, especially the Dutch league that can play with the ball at their feet. Why are we not trying to pick up maybe Ajax's second team's goalkeeper or something? Then nurture them for a couple of years. If he's good, if he can save a shot and good with passing at his feet, he'll be a success at Celtic. So we need to push the board. We need to push the sort of what sort of word could you use that? Push the feelers out, or get the feelers out and see.
Yeah. Test the water.
Yeah, it's the same goalkeepers that we're getting linked with time and time again. It's really exhausting seeing the same goalkeepers being linked. Why are we not getting any fresh names that are in? That was why I wanted Barkas in. That sounds terrible, but he was a different name, a new name. But even then, it sounded like we were sort of watching him for a couple of years previously. But there should be constant links with us being young goalkeepers. So it confuses me that we're going for the same people again and again. Let's
run through the other positions very rapidly because I've got questions to ask and a quiz to do. Right back, surely Buta's coming in, but then who else?
Another centre back.
Another centre back.
We should go back in for Vuskovic because
what actually happened there? Did we have any explanation as to what went wrong?
I saw that other teams were going in for him. Was it Feyenoord that were in for him? But the thing is now they probably need to sell because they get put out the Conference League. I'm sure Hajduk split, so they've got no European football.
Yeah.
So we should be testing the water again for another bid. Or maybe just putting a couple hundred for... No, actually, I don't want that. I just want us to pay the money we want for a player. I'm sick of this, actually. Aye. I'm going to work myself into a shoot again. See this? We'll start off by giving a player... Like, if they're asking for 3.5 and we give, like, 2.5 or something.
Aye.
No. Meet in the middle. If someone is asking for 3.5, put 3 million in and then test the water. Put it nearer the target that they want. Because they're never going to... And we're just fanning about with these players, and especially in problem positions. I mean, we weren't willing to pay the money for Buta, but it wasn't even that much to begin with.
Yep.
Why are we not going out and just signing them? We're in this position, and it looks bad from the outside as well.
Money.
That we're fanning about.
They're looking after their own pockets. I would love... We're getting a chance to speak to... And I'm always grateful to get invited to these things. We're getting a chance to speak to Furuhashi today. Give us Don Mackay. Give us the manager. We want updates. We've not
even been able to speak to Dominic Mackay because we weren't in the fan media thing when that all happened.
That's right.
I'd like to hear what's going on.
Yeah, I want. Are we going to sign someone? I want an update of some form because we're not getting it off the MSM.
You see, when Ange said we've got 3 targets for every position that we're going for, why have we not signed anyone then? Yep. If we had 3 then...
See, that's the thing. We're not even going to find out off the MSM because they're too interested in fucking trying to make Ange look like a dick. So...
This is the problem with the mainstream media. They've all got their own agendas. We just want to hear about what Celtic are doing.
Yep.
We want to hear how they're progressing with these deals, but we don't get that insight because it isn't part of their agenda. They just want to kick Celtic at the moment because we're in a shitey position.
Even though we're literally just been kicking into Celtic for 50 minutes.
But do you know they absolutely deserve?
We do it out of love.
We get beat off of Hearts. We get beat off of Michelin, 2 teams that we should have been scudding 2-3 years ago.
Yep.
But we've allowed ourselves to get in this position that we're haggling for 300k for players.
Yep.
Nothing's changed.
We need a left back. Mm-hmm. Josh Doiga's on the move. It looks as though Watford are the team that's going to be signing him for a fee of £5 million. So he's gone. Celtic, we're never going to pay that for him. Never in a million
And it doesn't
years.
make sense if we do. But I think we need more of the finished article for
we need
$5 million.
We need a wee bit someone that's with an experiencer.
Yes, but at the same time, someone did correct me in saying, "Oh, but you wanted Hickey." I'm like, yes, but he has more of the finished article than Doig, I would say, at this point, because he's played in Italy as well. Yep. He's got that sort of experience.
Higher quality opposition and all that.
Higher quality training. Imagine if he'd came in last season, the training under Lennon.
Oh.
Probably be playing for the Colts now.
Yep. Probably would be.
Mm-hmm.
He would.
I mean, we should have signed him.
We need a defensive midfielder.
Yeah, I think it screams out for Arden Moy or a destroyer in defensive mid. I don't know where these sort of CDMs like Wanyama are hiding, but we need someone like that is just going to take no shit. That's just a big powerhouse, and that'll protect the defence, because there's no protection for the defence at the moment. The defence is just getting... It seems like whenever an opposition team comes up against us, they just get free rein to just attack our defence. There's no midfielder that's stopping them from that. Maybe once or twice Sorrell will make an interception, but a lot of the time it's going to be Starfelt tackling the attacker, or even Welsh making a last ditch tackle, and we're not getting any protection from the fullbacks either. So, and
we need a striker.
Need a striker and a left winger.
Kevin Nisbet. Well, I'm hoping that Furuhashi's the left winger.
I wanted him to be the striker, to be honest.
Did you? No, I want him to be the left winger.
I think he needs to put on a couple of kilos first, to be honest.
Yeah, true. But
we definitely need another striker. Yep. I don't know what kind of striker we need, but preferably one that scores goals. That'd be a good start.
Kevin Nisbet
would walk into this team. He'd be a superstar in this team.
I want Kevin Nisbet.
David loves him. And to be honest, I love him too. Because I watch him, he's all action. He puts himself about. He's so good for the team. And if he can score goals for Hibs, think about the amount of goals that he could score at Celtic.
Yep. Granted, right now I'd probably take Martin Boyle as well. Just for the service.
I would have taken him in January, but see now I'm like, nah.
I like Boyle. I would really like Boyle.
He's a thorn on every defence's side on it.
Do you know what? Honestly, what is he, Australian?
He's Scottish, but he's Australian.
I never had a clue that he was actually Australian, though. I always thought he was just Scottish. Then yesterday I was seeing his interview and the wee flag came up beside his name. I was like, what the fucking bus? What?
It's a weird one.
I didn't know if it was Australia or New Zealand.
Probably get a game for Scotland now.
Aye, he probably would.
He's nippy, very nippy, and he knows where the goal is.
Right, for 10 minutes or so, let's try and go through... hold on, wait. I'm currently preparing our guest for the phone-in.
It's all good.
I'm not the phone in, sorry, the quiz. You're looking forward to taking on someone different in the quiz, Ryan? There's the question.
Put them all in front of me, I'll beat every single one of them.
Oh wow. Who was it last week? It was me against...
Me against you?
Was it us? And you beat... Or was it Callum?
I'm trying to think.
It was against me against you, because Callum had done the quiz. So it was me against you and you beat me.
I did.
Not happy with that. Right, okay, questions. Let's go quick fire. Ewan Sterling is a Rangers fan. He's asked, will Celtic have to play Anthony Ralston and Barkas at Ibrox?
Don't think we'll have to play Barkas, no, because I think he'll be on loan to another club by then.
Do you think so?
It looks as if he is getting prepared for a loan move. That was what the Greek media was saying anyway.
Oh, well, I hope it works out, because hashtag back Barkas. I love him. He's going to be great. He's going to get this loan move. And he's going to come back a completely different player.
He's not. He's like one of the characters in a video game that can't speak. He's got no character about him whatsoever. He's just
you don't need character, you just need talent, right?
Has he got that? I want to back him as much as I can, but he makes indefensible errors.
It's okay. I don't need to have this slander on my podcast.
Back heart. Just back him.
No, absolutely not.
So
I've got a Barkas agenda.
That's the question I want to ask you. If you could have any goalkeeper, who would it be within reason?
I love the shout of Dominik Livakovic. I love that. That's a brilliant shout. I didn't think it would be.
He's 26. He's playing for Zagreb.
I thought Zagreb would have wanted a higher fee for him. If I was to pick anybody within reason, do you know who I thought would have been a great shout before he moved back to Man United? Tom Heaton. Thought he could have maybe done a year.
And a couple of years of bad injuries as well.
Aye, but I thought he could have maybe done a job, but he went back to Manchester United. Sergio Romero's a free agent.
His wages would probably be
that's the problem. But I'd take him 100 million times over Joe Hart. The rest of the options out there are probably guys that I just have never heard of. So
Football Manager ones as well. Like, you don't know if they're any good in person.
Gerald Zoet. There you go.
Who was that? Was it Van der Voort or something like that? Who was the goalkeeper that's at Genk or Ghent? The one that you always sign at every FM. I know who you're talking
about. Van der.
I think I actually got you to sign him on your FM save.
She did. I know you're talking about. Anyway, Kieran Campbell, Ali McCann.
Can't take penalties. Not for me. Missed his penalty at the weekend. That's him. He's had his chance. He's fucked it.
He's fucked it as much as we have. Adam Kennedy, are we still friends? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Absolutely not, because he's above me in the fantasy football as well.
he's above us in the league as well right now.
Thanks, Ryan. Cheers. How many signings do you think will be made before the Dundee game?
Before the Dundee game, they said 2 this week, so that's the least I expect. How many I think will happen?
0.
1 at a push. I don't think there'll be 2. That's too optimistic. I thought you were going to ask before the end of the window. There, I think there needs to be. I think the loan market needs to be utilised as well at some point. Whether that's Itakura, he might need to get brought in. I know he's playing in the Olympics just now, so that's problematic. So, in fact, the more you look at that, the more that's less likely to happen, because finishes it, he needs a break, and then he'll need the 10-day isolation.
Oh, aye.
He'll be in by mid-August, maybe
longer.
Aye, start of September.
When are we playing against Rangers? I don't think.
No, wait. What's the date we play Rangers?
31st of August, you know? Something like that. It's around that. I was maybe at Leeds, but I've sold my ticket. I think maybe it's actually maybe the 28th of August.
I think you'll regret that decision. I think I would much rather watch that game maybe at Leeds on a phone than at home, because then if it was shite, then you can just go to.
I won't get a fucking signal on the field, Ryan.
Fair.
I'll miss the fucking game, and I'll miss the fucking 30,000 views for when we get pumped.
Think about the stonks. Exactly, mate.
Don't take the kind of comments seriously. Mark, obviously a regular man in the comments. He loves the shite. He's asking, does 2 or 3 new players fix the rot? I think there's a mentality that needs lifted around the club. I think from last year with Lennon and the board, it's given the players a free pass at performing so poorly. Time to acknowledge that, yes, the board is screwing us over, but so are the team.
Yes, there is a mentality issue. There is a massive mentality issue. And they're playing like a bunch of losers at the moment.
Yep.
They're used to losing.
We touched on that, yep.
Yep. But I think it is partly the players' fault and partly the board's fault, or mostly the board's fault, because they've allowed this to fester.
And there's a lot of good questions in here, but we've only booked into this studio to 2 o'clock, so I'm going to try and end up on... There, here we go. Good one here to end up on is Adam Kinnear, who is asking, do you think James McCarthy could be a good signing and be a voice on the pitch like Scott Brown was? Now, the last couple of years, McCarthy has always been one I'm like, nope, we don't need him. It's an eye roll
sort of rumour, isn't it?
Yeah, but now more than ever, I think maybe that James McCarthy could be of use to us.
If he's injury free. Mm-hmm. Yes, he was so
good.
He's only 30 as well.
He was so good when he was like fit and playing. He was such a really good player.
Remember him for Everton? I would have loved him. Good.
I would have loved him at that point. But the last couple of years, he's just been knackered.
He's the one. It's kind of like we're finding these players at the other side when we should have bought them when they were at Hamilton. The one that got away is coming back when he's older. He's definitely a better player than when he left Hamilton. He's got that experience. He'd do a job for 2-3 years. I mean, you look at Stephen Davis for Rangers. He's doing a job at 36.
Yep.
McCarthy's only 30. He won't have lost his legs yet. I mean, there was talk of us going for Aaron Moy. He's 31. I think out of the two of them, I'd probably prefer James McCarthy.
Big Jamesy boy.
But I get the argument for bringing in Aaron Moy as well. If we could get both, that'd be brilliant.
Well, that'll do the questions. Thanks to everybody for getting involved as always. If you do want to get involved with the podcast questioning and the future phone-ins, you just want to keep up to date with all our stuff on social media, including our potential meeting with Kayugo Furuhashi this evening. Make sure to go and follow us at Sellik Podcast. Usually me and Ryan would do a wee bit of a discussion video around it, but I simply do not have the time. I'm going
to ask Kyogo what he thinks about Resolution 12. Has he done any research? That 5-way agreement?
Right, okay.
What do you think, wee Kyogo? I think that's shocking myself though.
Imagine the translator's face.
What is a Civ called? Right. Disclaimer, all the Rangers fans that are still watching, I know you make up a lot of our viewers. I was kidding on. It's a joke. Don't take it too seriously.
Chill, daddy.
So what in the fuck is that?
What the hell is even that? Right, Chris, I'm out there, Ramble. It's time to move on to the last part of the show. I'm now going to try and get a hold of, actually, do you know what? It's time for the Sellik Defenders, if you know your history, quiz. There you go. Back this week. We've got the music back, Ryan, and I'm happy that you like it.
Thank you to Spotify for supplying us with the Celtic song.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
Thank you to Glenn Daly for this magnificent hit.
Is he still kicking about?
Absolutely not.
No?
No. Do you know? He's been away for a long time.
Glenn Daly's been away.
He's been away.
So you're saying I'm slandering this song and the guy is dead?
I think he must have died. Glenn Daly died in 1987.
I thought it was going to be 97. I was like, a legend died and a legend was born.
Yep.
There is no
gone. Gone in 87.
How old is that song?
That song, they've been playing that at Celtic Park since like long ago.
It's just the sound quality's
I know,
right.
Quite good. Have you never heard? I'm sure it's Glenn Daly that does. I belong to Glasgow, dear old Glasgow tune.
That's like something you'd hear at a Cayley, man.
There's nothing the matter with Glasgow when I'm gone. I'm sure it's Glenn Daly that sings that. Obviously, you don't belong to Glasgow.
Related to that Sefco player, John Daly.
Right, let's try and get Beans on the blower. I need to make sure the music's off, and I need to make sure. Right, let's see. I'm hoping this works all right. We've used the phone-in feature once so far, and I'm hoping it works again. So we'll wait and see. Beans is going to come on here with fire.
1961.
Aye, 61. Aye.
Hello.
Hello there. Is this Mr. Beans?
It is indeed.
Hey.
Hello, it's Chris Tarrant here from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us all right? Aye.
Aye.
How do you feel to be on the show, mate? You honoured?
Absolutely delighted, mate.
I wish I actually remembered to ask you if you wanted to come on in person, because there is only two yesterday, so it's just been me and Ryan flirting the whole time. You could have been here to break the ice.
I've been kicking his feet and that, kicking his legs the whole time, playing a wee game of footsie.
I don't know how I feel about being in between you two, but we'll move.
We'll move, right. So I'm gonna let you take on Ryan McGinley in the days. The Sellik Defenders, if you know your history quiz, Beans, are you happy to take part?
I am absolutely delighted to take part.
Right, well, you were on before, obviously, and you were here with Fitzy. And did you win or did you lose?
No, I think I won against Fitzy, but that's not really saying much, is it?
Beating a bald man. It's no fair. Right, I'm going to let you pick because you're the guest here, Beans, right? You're live via the Bluetooth, so don't worry, you'll be fine. I'm going to let you pick. Do you want to go Group A or Group B, or Set A or Set B?
I'll go for Group B.
Oh, right, okay, so he's got to put the pressure on McGinley early doors. Ryan, you are Set A. Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be, mate.
As ready as you'll ever be. Okay, right, here we go. This quiz was brought to you by Matthew Duff. Thank you very much to Matthew Duff for the
scumbag.
Someone had to say it. Oh, cheers, Matthew. It is very much appreciated. Right,
some very questionable views have came out from Matthew Duff.
Right, okay. I love how we all know these inside jokes. Right, Seti, here we go. Ryan, your first question. What shirt number does Academy graduate Dane Murray wear?
I don't know.
He's struggling already.
45.
Oh, you're no far away. You're wrong. Beans, do you want to hazard a guess? You won't get a point, but do you know what number Dane Murray wears?
I thought it was 57, no?
Both of you have got one number right each. It's actually 47. 47 is the number. 57's Welsh, is it, no?
Same thing.
See,
that's because you were mentioning Duff there. I was like...
Right, okay. Right, okay, Beans, a chance to take the lead early doors then, right? You ready? Right. Question one for you. Name 3 Celtic managers that have managed the club between Jock Stein and Wim Jansen. So three managers between Stein and Jansen.
Right. Why is my mind going blank? Tommy Burns.
Yes, correct.
Billy McNeil.
Yes, that's 2.
Liam Brady.
Yes, well done, Beans. That's a correct answer. David Hay was another one, and there's one more if any of you want to try and get it.
Billy Stark.
No, it's not Billy Stark. Lou McCarry. That's it. So that's the 5 you could have said would have been Billy McNeil, David Hay, Liam Brady, Lou McCarry, and Tommy Burns. So well done, Beans. You're up 1-0. Right, McGinley, back to you. New signing Carol Starfelt scored how many goals in the league last year for Rubin Kazan?
3.
Yes, correct. 1-0. Good answer there from McGinley.
I've watched the highlights so many times.
Aye, so there you go. That's 1-0. Right, Beans, to take the lead again. How many Scandinavian players currently play for Celtic? Good questions this week, Fidolf.
That's a good question.
Aye.
What's that arsehole doing? This is quite tough. Scandinavian players.
That is a class question.
That's a good question.
Starfelt. One?
No.
Is it two?
It's two.
Hjelde?
Leo Hjelde. That's the other one. Leo Hjelde. Aye.
He basically plays for Leeds.
Game yet?
What is he saying?
Is this Lewis Laird that's put this together?
No, I know. Surprisingly not. Right, okay, it's 1-1. Ryan, you could take the lead here on your third question. The Celtic women's team made history last season. How? What big accomplishment did the Celtic women's team?
The Champions League qualification.
For the first time ever. Correcto Mundo. I'll give you that. That's 2-1 to McGinley. Beans, you need this to equalise. You ready, son? There we go.
I am indeed.
Which player managed a brace for the Celtic B team last week in a 5-1 win against Stirling University?
I wouldn't know this.
I would have no clue either. It's just terrible, but I wouldn't have a clue.
Celtic B team.
Don't even know who he is.
Try to think who.
I guess, but I'll wait. Obviously.
I couldn't even think of in the B team, to be fair.
You want to pass? He's thinking hard.
My brain is going like mad. I'm trying to think of all the players that I would think of in that. Fuck it, I'll pass.
He's passed. What's your guess?
Was it Ben Wiley?
No, it wasn't. It was Adam Brooks, apparently. Don't know who he
Never
is.
getting that.
Never in a million years did I get that, Beans, don't worry. So it's 2-1 to McGinley. You can make it 3-1 here on your fourth question. Callum Craig had this question last week, right? I'm going to just give you the tiebreaker.
Wait, what?
I'm going to have to give you the tiebreaker question.
No.
Well, I can't give you one.
The tiebreaker, is that me going to have two stupid number ones in the one quiz?
Oh, right, okay, I'll give you. I'll think. Right, okay, I'll think of a question of it. Right, okay, next question from McGinley. Here you go. Right. Who was the last Irish player to score in a Glasgow derby?
Oh, that's like the North and the South.
I
presume so.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
If it is, then it's Johnny Hayes.
Johnny Hayes, correct. Right, 3-1. Beans, you need to get this one right to give yourself a chance of winning.
Absolute pressure on here.
Pressure on here, right? Kayugo Furuhashi has played 6 games for Japan. How many goals has he scored in those 6 games?
This is an absolute setup, man. So he's played 6.
I think I know this too.
Fuck it, 3.
Yay!
4.
Correct. You've got it right. You've given. Yep.
It was either 3 or 4.
That's correct. Right. So McGinley, your question. I actually need to. I can't give you this one that is in here because it's far too easy. Because I got it right. I actually got it right on the last quiz. You know it straight away. So.
Yeah, people would be in the comments like the same people that complain with the chasers getting easier questions in the chase.
Aye.
That's what people would be like.
I mean, I wouldn't be doing any chasing. That's just impossible for me.
Do you not chase? No.
Right. I do not. Right. Here's your question. Which Celtic player has made the most league appearances ever?
Oof.
League appearances ever. Not all competitions, just league appearances.
Oh my god.
You get it right, you win, remember.
Thanks for reminding me, Ryan. It's not as if you've alleviated any of the pressure there whatsoever. Bobby Lennox.
Wrong. It's
Billy
wrong.
McNeil?
Nope, it's not Billy McNeil either. The correct answer is Alec McNair. That is your answer to that. 532 appearances, I believe. for league
When
appearances.
Did he play?
Probably like the 1930s.
Did he stat pad during World War II or something?
Right, Beans, if you get this right, you will take it to the tiebreaker question.
Sake, man.
Right?
That tiebreaker question, it's been coming for me ever since I said that.
Aye, so here you go, Beans. Are you ready? What a penalty shootout this has been, by the way.
I'm sweating buckets
Brilliant.
here, man.
Right, Odsonne Edouard received a yellow card against Midtjylland last week. And I'll give you, if you get it within, like, so if you say the answer was going to be 50. If you say 52, I'll give you. If you get it within, if you say 51, I'll give you it within 1. Odsonne Edouard received a yellow card against Midtjylland on Wednesday night. How many yellow cards has he received in total during his Celtic career? So if you're one off either side, I'll give you it.
See, the thing is, I don't even think of him getting booked that often.
I know.
I can't even remember getting booked against Midtjylland at all.
Yeah, can I? But apparently
Aye.
So he's been here, 4 years?
Aye, probably just under, over 150 appearances, I'd imagine. So I'll say, I'll just go for 10.
You're bang on, by the way. It is 10.
Is it 10?
It's 10. Aye, it's
He's had 10 yellow
cards. No joke, means you.
Honestly,
no way.
I would have went for about 3 or 4.
No, well done.
Well,
Beans.
that's what I was thinking. But then I thought it wouldn't be a question if it was only like a couple, because that wouldn't stand out. I thought I might as well just shoot for it.
Aye. 10, bang on the money.
I really would have had 20 if he was interested more. Put the foot in a wee bit more.
So
if he was too lazy, he'd have a few reds in there.
Oh, mate. That means we've got to take it to the tiebreaker question. My God almighty. What scenes?
Fucked it.
What scenes? And it'll be the closest
In
to
fact,
get...
no, I haven't, because I get a stupid question there.
What one?
That Alec McNair. Who even is that?
What? Disrespect
Where's his
to us.
statue? Where's it? 500 appearances and no statue.
Disrespect to a Celtic legend.
McGinley, you're blaming what's been put in front of you for not getting the results. I hope you keep that energy for this season, son.
Okay, Goller.
right. Tiebreaker question, and McGinley, you will answer first, and then Beans will answer second.
Foregone conclusion, I'm losing this. I can
the
tell.
Tiebreaker. How many appearances did Celtic legend Bobby Lennox rack up during his Celtic career? Whoever is the closest will get it right, and I'll let you go first, McGinley.
Not as many as Alex McNair, clearly. That was my answer for the previous question.
This is all competitions, remember.
All competitions?
All competitions. Bobby Lennox, how many appearances did he rack up?
520.
520, okay. Beans?
I don't. I'll say 416.
Okay, I can reveal then. The winner.
Beans has won this.
The winner of this week's The Sellik the Funder, if you know your history quiz, is none other than Ryan McGinley. Well done, Ryan. The correct answer is unlucky, Beans, unlucky. The correct answer is 599 appearances.
Legend.
Where
is his statue? Has he got a statue?
He's got a statue in Saltcoats.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. Beans, unlucky, mate. Unlucky.
That was the best quiz I think I've ever took part in. Honestly.
Listen, I already took out COVID this week. I don't think it'd have been fair to take out McGinley as well. I'll be back.
How you keep me keeping well, aye?
I'm fine, mate.
Oh, that's good. That's what I like to hear. We'll have to have you back on the show again soon,
Definitely.
Sir. Thank you for coming on, Beans. You've really done us a service today.
Right, cheers, guys. All the best.
You too. Right,
mate.
Take care, mama.
Catch.
So that was Beans, who you've defeated. Another one defeated for McGinley.
It's one of those ones that I didn't really want to defeat him, but he was put in front of me.
He had to do it,
and he had to be slain.
It's like Anakin and Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan didn't want to do it.
Like a mythical creature, maybe in like Red Dead Redemption 2. I like it being in front of me.
What fucking mythical creatures are in Red Dead 2? Bears exist.
No, but there's the mythical ones, like the white bear, is there not? Or the white alligator.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right.
What a game.
What a game. Why do you talk about that?
I think we should do a separate podcast for games. Aye, absolutely.
That brings us to the end of our show.
An hour and 15 minutes, man.
An hour and 15 minutes. So It was a good one today. And it was more of just like a shoot, wasn't it? It was more of a just like, let's get on here and moan about Celtic.
Can we upload this after I speak to Kyogo? Because I think this is going to be the one that cancels me.
You think this is going to cancel you?
Yep.
How is it going to cancel you? You've not said
I don't know. I just got a bad feeling.
I was the one bringing up hentai.
True.
If anybody's getting cancelled here, it's me.
Well,
I mean, we're lucky Kieran Ald's on today's show.
Very true.
If Kieran Ald was on this show, we'd maybe be cancelled.
Maybe it's for the best that he wasn't then.
Well, I hope Kieran Ald is watching at home and recovering well from the hangover.
What a boy.
What was that?
God bless him.
God bless Kieran Ald. Thank you everybody for listening to the show today. We will be back next week. There'll probably be some stuff during the week as well, especially with the games being on. You know, a big week once again for Celtic as we try and recover what has so far been a very poor start to the season, Ryan, to say the least.
Yes, we were start padding against League One sides such as Sheffield Wednesday and Charlton. But ever since that goalless draw against Bristol, it's all gone downhill. It
has gone downhill. So, if you have been listening on Spotify, it is very much appreciated that you follow the show and share out the show as well. Get as many people listening as possible. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. We're bearing down on that 30,000 subscriber mark. The big 3-0.
And we're coming after you.
Who?
Everybody.
PewDiePie. We're coming after you.
PewDiePie. That's a blast of the past, isn't it?
Oh, what a hero.
Jacksepticeye, we've got our eyes on you. 24 million, we'll be there.
We'll be there. And then finally, make sure you go and follow us on Twitter if you want to see more from our interview and such with Kyogo Furuhashi tonight, or our press-up with Kyogo Furuhashi tonight. Then make sure to head over there. That's where you see it. Ryan McGinley, thank you very much for joining me. Make sure to follow Ryan. Always. Make sure to follow me. Next week hopefully I'm not as depressed with Celtic because I can't handle it anymore. So until next time, we'll see you. Cheerio.